So you know how we do at the INO podcast already. We love to have great conversations with great drinks. And with that being said, I'm happy to say that we are sponsored by Campari. So let me tell you a bit about Campari now. The unique, intense nature of Campari's vibrant red color and multi-layered bitter taste is the trademark of a connoisseur, stimulating the senses through a captivating visual and taste experience. I want you, if you have not tried this already, to try this. We love Campari, have it at your next line. Campari, respect the bitter. This is the INO podcast where we all about healthy debate, honest conversation, and talking beer junk. Information, knowledge, observation. This is the INO podcast. INO, information, knowledge, observation. Also, I know nothing. We got more like Moors on the outside. We got coffee here.
Let me start over a minute.
Yeah, you need that mic though. Yeah, you need that mic. That's it, very. That.
All right, yeah.
Thank God you see that just though, baby.
I know what episode name was. Yo, cuz, you could come out, dude.
Oh my God. Jeez. I feel crazy for that, right? I would totally understand me, man. And you know what? That whole part, we leaving that in.
I left your frame, bro. I might doing something else.
Don't say no more.
This is the INO podcast. INO, information, knowledge, observation. Also, I know nothing. Again, Moses on your side. We got coffee on your inside.
Yo.
I hear Marcus. Before we do anything, I just want to say just some housekeeping matters. Stream all up in your crotch on YouTube. You may have yet to speak about this, but we will speak about it at some point. Anyway, but big up cough syrup. And also for the people that are asking, no, I don't know this person. I've never met this person. He seemed cool though. He seemed like good vibes and thing. But I don't know him, man. It wasn't orchestrated like that. Like, there was anything that we like put together, like, I know podcast and he or whatever. But anyway, big up cough syrup. Anyway, so we're moving on from that. Today we have a very special guest. Some people call him the Halut of Curbside. I just made that up. But it's all good, right? It's all hard, right?
I've never heard it.
It's all hard, though.
Yeah,
it gets thick, though.
It sounds decent.
Yeah,
They hollow off curbside, G.
Yeah, I would take it.
We have a very special guest. This is somebody that, I guess because of our age, we would have heard about Kyle, him at QC, while we was at Comair. He was at both QC and Comair, but anyway. But we would have heard his name like coming up about Curbside back when it was a food truck and that kind of thing. And I feel it's a very interesting story that we could all learn from. And not only the fact that he's owner of Curbside, he's also the regional sales manager at Inchcape. Also, he has multiple businesses and sees himself as a serial entrepreneur. So we get into all that today. He come empty-handed, and he could have come with some loaded phrase. Don't watch the 9 door. We got Kyle Smith, everybody.
Hey.
We don't open on Sundays.
You get me. You get me. All right, Kyle. yeah.
Mosey, like he's a customer.
Kyle, what's going on, first of all? How things?
Things good. I can't complain. Happy to be here.
Great.
Forward to it.
Thanks for coming through. And we want to explore everything about you. You understand? Well, not everything, but you understand?
Yeah, definitely not everything.
Yeah. You were saying soft things for your whole afternoon, but anyway.
I want to start real bad. Saying what this game overly talk now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. So can we go from the very beginning, and then we could kind of work our way through?
What was the beginning?
The beginning.
Curbside?
Well, the beginning from what we know will be like Curbside, and
All right.
what age you started Curbside, and we could go from there.
All right, cool. So I would have started Curbside when I was 20. The plan for Curbside started probably when I was 21. So in my last year at university, I was doing my first degree in accounting, and then my mom used to run a shop in St. Philip, and I think maybe the year in front she had a robbery, and kind of we wanted to get out of that. And we started to talk about doing a burger shop in Sheraton, which was never happened, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of started to watch a lot of Food Network and play around with the idea and test a lot of stuff at home in terms of menu items and stuff. Eventually, we decided on doing a food truck or trailer. Did a bit of travel to Florida to go to some food truck fairs and what's not. And that's really the beginning of the story. Eventually we decided that we would go with a food truck. So Curbside started July the 25th, 2013, I think. I think I finished my degree in December 2012.
So y'all went to Florida with that in mind, or while you were in Florida, you decided to do that? The market research went...
With that in mind. I mean, it was a regular family vacation.
Right.
We would always go to Florida, but we made sure to go to the manufacturer that we decided that we would go with, as well as go to, I think there was like a food truck fair going on at the time.
You went to the
went to that as
manufacturer
well.
for the
For the
food truck?
trailer. For the trailer. Yeah. To see the
Psych.
quality and stuff.
Oh, by the way, so trying to remember talking about it and stuff.
No problem.
Right, okay, but so when you went to Florida, and what is it that you were trying to do in Florida in terms of like looking at the different food truck festivals that you could not do here? Like, I trying to understand.
So at the time, there were no, in the traditional sense, food trucks here. There was like Eddie's, but not in like the modern sense of like Worthing Square sense or Savvy on the Bay sense. There were no food trucks at the time. After we had already placed the order for ours, we saw Just Grilling on the Go, which no longer operates. That popped up in Welch's. So that would have been the first, to my recollection of what was going on at the time, food truck that was in play.
And so your mother owned a shop. Can you tell us a bit more about your mom?
Yeah, sure. So
I never asked mom about your mother in life. Right?
Yeah. So, and then one time she told me she can't really like ask her mom. Mother just
that's kind of weird.
Yeah,
Tell me mother.
So
tell your mother for real.
My
though.
mom
Where
used
what
to.
she's doing.
So
Yeah, right.
My mom runs Curbside full time, which is what allows me to work full time in the outside of Curbside.
And her background is what?
Her background, well, as far as I can remember it, she was a receptionist for a doctor in Black Rock. You know where Shine Automotive is? There's like a doctor there. It used to be Dr. Howitt. She used to be a receptionist there. Then she started the mini mart in St. Philip right outside Sam Lar's Castle. She did that for up until 2011 maybe.
Okay.
And then that's when we
so
started.
I guess,
we started Curbside.
So a lot of her knowledge
full time since then.
Right. So the supply chain and all that. That's what she got from the mini mart and do. Okay.
She's a really good cook, like untrained, but she's a really good cook. So that's kind of, out of that is what kind of sparked the idea for Curbside. So when I was at the university doing my first degree, I kind of decided that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something with my mom. And coming out of that, that's kind of what gave birth to Curbside, I should say.
Interesting. That's very... So both of you are co-owner?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Cool.
She would say that she works for me, but she's very much a co-owner.
Oh, mom, that's sweet. Okay, so at that time, would you say that you were one of the first? You would have been one of the first food trucks in Barbados. How do you think it was received at the time? Because I remember when it first started, but on the back end of it, though, you saw that there was a huge demand for it and that kind of thing.
So the overall idea behind Curbside is that we wanted to offer something that was completely different to what was available. So at the time I was at the university, working part-time in accounting. And when it was time for lunch, you kind of have the same rice and pie, those types of options available, beef stew kind of thing. And there was no real diversity in the offering that was available. And that's what we wanted to bring. So that's why we ended up doing the whole Mexican/American cuisine. And since then, we've added a bunch of stuff. So that was the overall idea. So if you look at my original business plan, it says something to the effect of Curbside is a food truck offering the diversity that Barbados has always been waiting for, something to that effect.
And you could tell that you were one of the first because the fact that it's named Curbside Cafe, like having something on the curb, you could tell that was like a new thing, right? That's very, very interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, the influence for that, though, I mean, like the American Mexican cuisine, that definitely is a Food Network thing for you, though.
100%.
Yeah.
Food Network, Food Truck Show, Guy Fieri.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Full works. 100% Food Network.
I know what he meant talking about, but say it.
Yeah, don't worry.
You know
If
him.
you know.
Let me say to you, come out,
You're-
place I used to.
Yeah, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. If you know,
Oh, it's like okay. So, where was Curbside for originally? The location.
So it's kind of ironic because Curbside started Simpson Motors car park, essentially right across from the old Scotiabank in Simpson Motors compound. And ironically, that's where I work now. So that's kind of how it started.
How did you do that though?
Get the permission for the location.
No. Well, you got the permission for your location. I think that could be a bit easier to explain than you having a food truck on site to then getting a job on the same location, because I see that as like a conflict of interest.
No. So we moved after I took the job. So
All right, yeah, that's important.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
so essentially we started the business in 2013. And I say this very respectfully, but working with my mom was quite difficult. So eventually I decided that I wanted to start my career. Naturally, because I had relationships with the people in the area, I decided that I would send my CV to the businesses in the area. So at the time, I sent it to Simpson Motors, and I also sent it to ITC, which is the company that I currently work for. He's not actually my boss right now, but my boss's boss right now was a customer. And when I sent the CV, he eventually called me and said he wanted to have a conversation. He offered me a role at ITC at the time, which I took. By that time, the business was more established. I was like 2 years in, and it didn't need me full time. And I think that's actually the best thing that has happened to the business, because as you guys know, we only operate on Fridays and Saturdays, and that has been a blessing. So because I guess of the scarcity, we do a lot of business on Fridays and Saturdays, even better than we were doing when we were at Simpson Motors
Really?
Monday until Friday.
That is interesting.
Yeah, very.
So, yeah.
That is interesting. So you probably would say that you generate more sales because of the fact that you aren't always available.
Yeah, correct.
It's like almost artificial scarcity.
I guess.
Damn,
I can't.
They make man say two big words.
Artificial scarcity.
Yeah.
I'm a QC.
Yeah,
QC,
I'm very QC for true.
Whoa.
That was the QC side. Now you can't say.
But-
Okay, but yeah.
But yeah, I can't say that. I can't say that I foresaw it. It wasn't like something that I had planned.
It was a lucky accident.
It kind of just happened. That was the course I was taking for my life, and it ended up working out. And that's why up to this day, we still only do Friday and Saturday, even though we've opened the location on Worthing Main Road.
Oh yeah.
So you when you got the call from the guy from Simpson Motors, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would have taken what role at the time?
So he offered me, the role was sales coordinator for Mercedes-Benz. So sounds really good. It was a good role.
Yeah.
So you tell yourself,
Yeah.
Mercedes-Benz,
Right.
might offer me a big job. But yeah, it was a good learning experience. Eventually, I guess if I go into like my career path, eventually I kind of wanted more. And a role came up at Simpson Motors Used Cars to be sales manager for the used car department, and I applied for that. My reason for applying for it, I didn't necessarily think I would get the role, but it was kind of one of those things where I wanted to let everybody know that I was looking for more kind of thing. I ended up getting the role. I saw that as like a huge opportunity. So that particular time in my career is what I would credit with my success, because at the end of the day, you kind of only need an opportunity and a platform to show what you can do. And that was that for me at the time. So yeah.
What made you want to go into corporate so you didn't work with your mom, but you could have also just done something else as an entrepreneur. Why would you still want to go in corporate as opposed to just do a different entrepreneurial job as a serial entrepreneur, as you would say?
I guess at the time I didn't really consider myself to be a serial entrepreneur. That's something that I guess now I would more consider myself. That's something that I would say kind of defines me now. Whereas at the time, that wasn't necessarily the case. To start Curbside, I turned down a role in audit with KPMG. Coming out of university, I kind of made up my mind that I was going to do this thing with my mom, whatever format it would take. Maybe it wasn't Curbside at the time, but it was the burger shop in Chariton. And then I got a call from the university saying that I won the KPMG prize. And I was like, okay, cool, no problem. What is it? It's like, so apparently it's a monetary prize, and as part of it, in order to accept it, you have to also accept that you're going to work with them for a year. So then I was like, I ain't really sure. I got plans. I want to start my business. So eventually, after talking to a lot of people and kind of, griping over it for a while, I decided that I was going to turn it down. So I turned it down. Luckily for me, they said it was too late for me to officially turn it down, blah, blah, blah. So they were going to still give me the money and which kind of went straight into Curbside.
That's such a blessing.
Yeah. So they still gave me the prize.
But you say how much money it was?
It's $5,000.
Man, bung up, boy.
Yeah, $5,000.
But I guess back then too, it's more than it is now. So,
for sure.
For sure.
So
sight.
That I guess you could say KPMG invest in Curbside. I don't know if you could say that. But yeah,
I don't know the way auditors talk about audit, you would not have had time to have a business.
Yeah, I don't think I would have enjoyed audit, and that was kind of the thing that I was kind of explaining to my dad. I was always entrepreneurially minded, so from a very young age, I used to do things like shell peas and sell in my mother's shop in St. Philip, and make more B and sell, and those types of things. So it was always. My mother would say that I always like money from young, so
So that's your main driving force for entrepreneurship is money.
Nah. Well, maybe initially. So I guess from a young age you would want to, it's easy to go up and say you want to be rich and all these things.
Right.
Like for me now is like financial freedom and peace of mind and being able to be involved in my children's lives and that type of thing. So it's not money now. At this point, money don't mean anything. I guess after you get
what?
Explain.
So alright, so I ain't don't take this the wrong way. And like I make it and
he about to say something that make it seem broke as shit.
Nah, I ain't saying that's the thing. So it's not like I got everything I want in life and I could just stay home and raise my children. That's not what I'm saying. But the level of importance that I place on it, so like things like peace of mind and those types of things are more important to me. So at a young age, I'm 32 now. I feel like the things that matter to me most are taking the chance now to kind of focus on my entrepreneurial ventures with the hope that, I could kind of take control of my life and travel and, have experiences as opposed to working through to 65 and you never know if you can make it there, and if you make it there, where your health can be like, and that kind of thing. So that's my motivation more so than money in and of itself.
Yeah, somebody told me that wealth is being able to schedule your days how you want, and if you want to stay in tomorrow, you can stay in and sleep till 10 o'clock if you want, whatever. That wealth is more about time than it is about money. That's kind of what
100%.
Yeah,
I agree. So like tomorrow, I know for sure, like. I guess based on I don't know if I want to say loyalty, but my level of commitment to my employer, I know I gotta go work because I know I got something to do.
Right.
Like I know for sure what tomorrow gonna be made out of. So it's not like I could make a decision tomorrow. I feel like it. Yeah. So at this point, I'm not at a position where I can walk away from that to do my own thing. Hopefully in years to come, that's something that would be on the table, but not right now.
So, and Curbside wasn't lucrative enough for you to feel comfortable?
Nah, definitely not. Like people will look at Curbside, right? And people will pass by Gatel and see a lot of cars and a long line and tell themselves, these men making money, boy. But the truth is, right? That's not the case. Because nobody's there when the delivery trucks come in, when the weekend come, and I got to pay staff X amount of money on the weekend. And entrepreneurship, like, people like to make it out to be this super lucrative, glamorous thing, and the government is push it, but nobody don't actually support it, and so it seemed a lot better than it really is. It's a lot of work and a lot of heartache, to be very honest with you.
But which one is more work? Would you say what you can see in terms of entrepreneurship or working the 9 to 5, saying that you do both? Which one is more difficult?
At this point in my life, I can tell you my 9 to 5.
Oh, really?
So, but that's because of kind of how I've structured the business. So, like, if you ask my mom, who's in the business full time, she will argue that it's more difficult for her to run the business.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she doesn't necessarily know what my day-to-day is like, but in my opinion, my day-to-day is more difficult, more stressful, based on where the industry that I am in now, where the industry is quite demanding. So, and then I do other things outside of Curbside and outside of that. So it is a bit stressful, to be honest.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, some people talk about entrepreneurship and don't talk about all the back end things. Like, like I was talking to somebody who was in corporate, right? And I was trying to explain to them what Kofi and Moses do, right? Because they are full entrepreneurs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have always respected that fact, and that sometimes the demand kind of controls your days. So I mean, Kofi could speak about this at length, right? But in terms of, like, say, you get 3 jobs this week, you may not get a job next week. You gotta take the 3 jobs this week, which means that things gotta get pushed back, and everybody just gotta understand that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing. In terms of the fact that when I go to my corporate job, right, I know I got my schedule. I know I can get a certain amount of money at the end of the month. That kind of thing. Like, people talk about it as though, like, people talk about it and don't talk about all the little things like that you don't really have control over your time to some degree and that kind of thing when it comes to the entrepreneurial side. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like the government does kind of glorify entrepreneurship, saying that people need to be entrepreneurs and blah, 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 blah. And I don't think everybody built for that. I don't think I'm built for that.
100%.
I find interesting you say the last part, though.
That I don't think I'm built for it.
Yeah.
The reason why I stopped being an entrepreneur was the instability was playing on my mental a lot. Now, at that point in time, I will admit, that was 4 years, 3-4 years ago. And I gotta admit to you, my mental was not able to sustain the instability and uncertainty of the entrepreneurship. It just wasn't. It
100%.
was not. And I gonna know where I am in life. Like I could probably be at a different place now. Where I say we're to go back into it, maybe I'll come with like new tools I would learn, new mental ways to manage everything. But big man, that was
That's
real tough on me.
It's got no mental quit.
Yeah,
it was
100%.
tough.
So, like, I guess I don't really got like the quitting gene in me. I kind of find a way to keep doing it, but still survive. So going to work outside outside of.
But you didn't quit the full entrepreneurship though.
No, 100%. I always kept it. So that's like something that I feel like defines me in terms of entrepreneurship. But to your point, in terms of it not being for everybody, I remember coming out of school, KPMG prize, top student in my year for accounting. I seen my friends that went to school with me in audit, and audit salary is X amount. And they get minimum wage in Curbside. So, like, people seeing enough lines at Curbside and thing, but I pay myself minimum wage because they gotta maintain business, and me and my mother taking minimum wage, and it, like, I pay myself last. And yeah. So, like, at that age, I ain't really had no responsibilities, but that's not something that you could sustain for a extended period of time. That's not something that you're gonna choose to stay in for an extended period of time.
Also, bigger to you on paying your staff first. Because I know a lot of people that be like, shh.
No, you can't think.
We already made money this way, you know?
Alright, they say you.
Just sign tight. I can't do
I mean, it's a lot of small business owners are really like that.
No, you can't do that, man.
Because they draw for themselves, or they think they deserve, and then pay people.
I mean, I'm sure they probably got staff that would see this and probably don't agree with that, but that's the reality of what we were doing. I mean, it's difficult being, especially starting out. So we started out working, I guess, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. And that was difficult. Like you open a Monday and not that you're making the money, but
Monday's
not enough.
Mhm.
Not enough to really sustain the business. So at the end of the day, what you can do? You know, you gotta pay your staff, you gotta pay suppliers because you won't open the week after that. So you can pay yourself last.
Mhm.
And then you're working with your mom. God bless her. But that's
But it's still working, man.
that's very, very difficult. You do that for 2 years.
I cannot imagine that.
How can you do that?
Big up my mother all the time. I cannot
big
do
up my
that.
mother all the time.
No, for sure.
100%,
Yeah, but don't worry about
Big up
that.
yourself, Janice.
Yeah. Like, we scale over that, right? Working with your mom, right? That's a
Dog.
whole job in itself, B.
That's-
No matter what it is you doing, B. Working
I
with
will
your
visit
mother?
my mom and like I will wash a dish at the sink and it'll be a complaint. Like I can't
Right.
imagine doing that full time. That's my job.
Nah, man.
That's my job.
That's
Education machine.
It's pain and suffering.
Jeez.
My mother would tell you, like, me and my mother got across to yesterday morning. It was
That's a
like,
business called Don't Watch Night.
yeah,
We understand. We understand.
already on silent, so
Mm-hmm.
yesterday morning I was like parking at the trailer ready to move it, and I asked her to like put a garbage can inside,
Mm-hmm.
and she said no, the garbage cans go across on the next trip. I was like, Mom, I do this every morning for the last 10 years. Like I know the garbage cans don't. I just put garbage cans inside. We getting across for that.
There ain't no way that as a mother, I don't know if mothers are able to like stop themselves from just being like, my business partner said this is how it's been done. Nah, my son is telling me where the garbage is supposed to
No.
go.
My son is undermining me.
Are you insane? Or listen to your mother. You understand? I can see her.
That'd be paying for your whole day.
Right. I can see her taking off the hat of business partner and then putting on the mother role and then switching back. Like
if
bet it's
Marcus,
convenient.
if I tell you put your garbage inside, you say, all right, cool.
Right.
Now my mother knows, so like
You're right.
she vexed. So that part has been historically over the life of the business has been a little bit difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we still trying out to, things a little bit. It's got good periods and bad periods, but that's life.
Okay, now coming to the customers, right? Since y'all have started, Curbside has become like a big name and stuff. I guess you were
A
our first.
household name.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is because of first mover advantage, all kind of things, right? But you've gotten a lot of feedback, positive, negative, right? I've seen negative feedback about Curbside, and I've also seen those same people say, "I can't wait for Curbside." You know what I mean? How do you manage that negative feedback? Do you take any of it into account, or do you just say this is people being people?
I can be honest with you.
Careful now.
No. When we started Curbside, right? I could not. At no point did we imagine that we would be what we are now. So I can't say like I had this big dream and I had this vision and it brought it to reality. Literally, our business plan, we said there is in an hour we could serve 10 people and we can be open for 6 hours. So we can serve, 60 people and maybe they might buy a $20 food. You know what I'm saying? Simple mathematics. Literally, I went sit down at Massey upstairs when they had the food court.
Right.
And they sit down and they count how much people serving in this, how many customers each business would get in like a peak lunchtime kind of thing.
Seriously, okay.
And I based my business plan on that. I submitted, it got approved, and we started business. But literally from the first day, we could not have anticipated the level of business we had. Because the idea of it was me and my mom gonna run this business by ourselves. Literally from the first day, I had to get my girlfriend at the time, as well as her mother, and probably like one staff member to work full time, and it was very, very difficult. So we could not have anticipated the response that we would have had at the time.
To meet the demand.
Yeah. So from the beginning, it was better than we anticipated. That doesn't necessarily translate to profitability. But in terms of traffic and level of volume and having to struggle to produce that level of volume, then yes, that was a challenge. Today, like, again, I say this from a very humble point of view. Anybody that ever spent money at Curbside, I appreciate you 10,000%. That being said, people, I guess the Barbadian public is difficult to please. So like it's a case where I find people don't necessarily, you're not in the business, so you don't necessarily understand what goes into the business and the difficulties that we experience on a day-to-day basis to provide a certain level of customer service. So like they got some things that we could say, all right, that is shite customer service. That should have never happened to you. Take responsibility, we can replace that meal, we can do whatever the case is, you know? But then there are some things that inherently, we're operating in a 16x8 food truck. I ain't great at maths, but 16x8 ain't a lot. It ain't Shafat.
Right.
But people will go Shafat and stand out and wait in a long line. Or stand out and wait long for the food. But then they will come by my little trailer, my 16x8 trailer, and they will expect that they can get their food immediately. So like, with the volume that we are doing, it's simply impossible from a 16x8 trailer to serve any more quickly than we are already doing. By the nature of our menu is quite big. Is a lot to execute. And then we allow customization. So you can't come and say, oh, well, you want a chicken and potato roti, and the chicken and potato roti is the same chicken and potato roti. Because you could come and you could say, you don't want corn, you don't want tomato, you don't want this, you don't want the third and the fourth. And it operating from a space slightly bigger than the room that we in now. So imagine me serving food from in there and maybe serving, I don't know, you can just call a random number. Let me say 500 customers. How I can serve 500 customers? I got 8 people in this space here. Imagine 8 people in here, equipment all here, and there's the walking space in the middle.
So what would you want the customers to do? Be more understanding?
Yeah, like, all right, I can give you an example. I had a lady that complained the other day that she really likes the business. She wants to support the business, but the truth is that something she doesn't have the time to be able to wait. So when she places the order, she expects that when she arrives, that the order is ready, right?
I say on the phone. When she places the order on the phone.
Yeah,
like when she get there.
I'll call her. She expects that like when she get there, she walk up to the thing, and
which is fair.
That's understandable,
right?
So it's not a matter of a lack of understanding, you know, but being a business owner and being in the business, I understand how difficult it is for that to happen. So if I have 10 orders for the same time, and those orders are a variety of items, so one order might be 5 foods, what do I then do? Do I prepare all of those meals at the same time, have them there? Inevitably, Bajans can come late. You come late for your food, and you tell me you don't want, you don't want the cold food, this thing, the next thing. Where are you gonna store it? You understand? I already in a space this big. Where are you gonna store it? 1. 2, if I prepare it and you don't come on time, how am I going to operate my business outside of you? You understand? So it is like, on the surface, it sounds real easy. You order, you should get your food on time. I agree, 100%. But, so I explained to her, essentially, the difficulties that we have in being able to provide the service. And her response was, thanks for telling me to spend my money elsewhere.
Which also, to me, is reasonable.
But
that's a reasonable interpretation for me. But that's me.
But that's the thing. Me. But that's what I said. So my response, and I can show you my response. My response was, honestly, it's very difficult in the space that we operate in to be able to provide the level of service that you deserve or something along those lines. And in the event that you're in a time crunch, maybe you can check out one of the other spots in the area, because really and truly, we are doing the best we can do with what we have until we can get a bigger trailer. You know, maybe when we can get a bigger trailer, or because as a small business, obviously financing is a consideration. It's not like you could just pick up and do whatever. Like, Halut just went and give away free food. You know what I'm saying? I said
that's a job, but anyway.
Nah, I love it. I love it.
Wait, I want to know if I get off coffee. If I want to know if you call ahead, right, and you go up to the front of the counter and they say that the food's still ain't ready, you won't feel away with that?
No, I get it 100%. I
Right,
do
right,
100%.
Kyle Smith, as a customer, I understand, you know, and I don't understand. But it also on the other side, seeing what happening. They have worked in Curbside 2
That's
years.
my only thing is though, Kyle. we don't care. And I
No,
don't
I
mean
As a customer, yeah.
100%. 100%. I know that
Right.
customers don't care. And that's so like, all right. I see sometimes I would get dragged on Twitter.
Right, I've seen it too. It's funny. Let me know if you want to see them.
110%.
They're about Mark. No, go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
110%.
Yeah.
I would never respond. Because if you don't want a response, you would have messaged the business page.
Right.
So like tagging my personal Twitter.
Oh, people do that.
Yeah, 100%. He got them up, bro. Yeah. So like tagging my personal Twitter and being like, yeah, the fella that on Curbside out here, Aioli forever. I'd be like, so I can respond so that y'all could drag me. Twitter's a dirty place.
Yeah, wait, by the way, which
I've
is
seen
true.
that with so many brands.
Okay, so that's yeah, right. I just saw one like 2 days ago. You saw that?
Oh, France, yeah.
I would absolutely
Yo, bro,
never
that.
respond. Like if you wanted a corporate response, if you wanted solutions, you would not go to Twitter.
That's right.
You will go
That
to
is
the
1000%.
business place. But the thing is, right? Everybody on Twitter looking for clout. Everybody looking for haha, hee hee.
Likes.
Everybody laughing, right? But
Right.
it's not funny to me. Ain't funny to me. This how my mother making her livelihood. This how 30 staff making the livelihood. So it's
Right.
not funny. It's
Right.
not a joke.
I
But
guess,
everybody's one like gone like, okay, let me drag this body,
Mhm.
cancel culture, blah blah
Right.
blah. But at the end of the day,
Agreed.
there's how people making the livelihood. So hee hee ha ha.
I never studied the customization aspect of it, whereas like every order is personal. I guess that makes it very difficult to find a
I cannot.
solution.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can't mass produce. Like I can't make a chicken and potato roti and a beef and potato roti and put them in a warmer. And when you come and see you want chicken potato, just snatch it up.
Right,
and
because
throw it
every
out.
order is ideally different.
Is like you want barbecue sauce, you want this,
Right.
you want the third. The day that I cut out my menu, like I cut down my menu to things that we could serve more quickly. Tell me another place that does the level of customization that we do, that serves as many customers as we do, as fast as we do. I challenge you to name one place in the space that we do.
The space is what's right off. I can.
Yeah. But can you name one?
Take
Can you
out
name one?
take out the
Hey,
space.
space.
Name one.
Name
Name
one.
one.
Guangdong Chinese restaurant.
That different. I feel it easier to customize like chow mein or saying like
You got base
you want
chow mein
chow mein?
and you
Yeah.
want shrimp fried rice. It's shrimp.
But they also do shit like Cantonese style shrimp. Like they do duck meat.
Alright.
They do like so much other things.
Wait,
But
so
I
wait-
do want.
Oh,
But
go ahead.
you get the
I do
concept
get you
of what I'm
100%. And
saying.
in a I know size you call
Brother,
16 by 8.
16 by 8.
Right, that's not big B.
And that's the exterior of it. That ain't even like.
But I don't care what you're
the
saying.
interior.
Include the fridge or stove, nothing so.
That ain't got exactly.
Okay, so the volume that comes in, does that also affect the quality of the meals? So I also, one of the things I see that comes up too is that people say curbside didn't taste the same like it used to taste. I have my own argument on that, but I want to know if there is a possibility that can be a thing. I want to say what my thing is, but you say
I
first,
give my
do
perspective.
you think that is possible based on what you
All right,
understand?
I ain't give my perspective, right? My perspective is that for us and us being my mother and I, the level of consistency that we provide is something that we pride ourselves on, and that's why we are still around 10 years later. Somebody will call me and say, or message me or whatever, I would see a comment saying that the wording location, for example, the food tastes different. It ain't as good as the trailer.
Yeah.
Marcus, all the food is cut in wording.
That is so funny.
All the food is cut in wording. If it tastes good in wording, or it tastes good at the trailer, is the same food? Net, absolutely nothing different. Wording is our base. Every single piece of food you eat there, unless it's something that's for the grill, is cut in wording and transported to the trailer. So when you tell me so, like, hey, off your back, I already kind of discounting it because like I ain't really know what to say here now.
But what about if because of the amount of orders you have received over the years, as Curbside's name has built, you would still have a small operation. So because of the demand, trying to meet the demand, maybe the quality may be reduced because of the fact that you can't put the same time and effort into each meal that you used to.
So that's it. The volume wouldn't influence the quality. What the volume would influence is the speed of service. So at the end of the day, the food is already prepared. We don't actually cook in our trailer. The only things that are cooked in the trailer are things that go on the grill. So you would get Philly cheesesteak, burgers, any fish meal because that would go on the grill. That's really it.
So what happens in the trailer? Just like the
It's serving.
compilation.
It's
Okay.
literally serving. So we will have a steam table with your rice. If you're getting burritos or burrito bowls, you will have all the meats, chicken, pork, beef, fish, already on the warmer, and it would just be serving. So if you come and order a 3 piggies, we already have the pulled pork on the warmer,
Mhm.
the ham on the warmer, the bacon is already grilled. So it's literally just putting together the meal.
Okay.
So we've done as much as we can do to kind of, I guess, optimize the
That's
speed,
kind of speeding the process,
the
yeah.
speed of service.
Mm.
But the truth is, again, it goes back to the space. So if I get order for 10 truck fries at the same time, I got 2 fryers. You can only fry so many chips at a time.
And you want your chips
Somebody
fresh.
will have to wait. It
Mhm.
is just the nature of the business. So at the end of the day, without more space, you really can't do much better.
Do you think y'all could work on the communication of like managing expectations so that people will know?
Yeah,
that-
it actually sounds very understandable when you say it here.
Yeah.
I don't mean put not a clip on
Like
it.
I 100% would take up my phone and show you every single post that Curbside has posted over the last maybe year or more, where it says you may have to wait even though you place the order.
I never see that yet in my life
I've seen
ever.
it.
In my life ever.
guarantee you-
Ever.
I guarantee you, it got a little smiley face next to it, trying to be polite.
I've seen it because I thought how am I making the order and still waiting.
Exactly.
I've
I
definitely
wanna
seen
see
it.
But
smiley.
also, how are you showing up to the window, seeing 15 cars in the car park, and expecting that at the same time in this little small space you can get your thing? Name another food truck my size that you don't have to wait. Name one.
I can't say it. I know I can think of another example that fall in the same boat as you, but I don't want to bring it up.
Still do.
Nah, bring it out.
I think they're very good, by the way, and I go there often, Fry Guys. But I have
Fry.
waited for Fry Guys and a ridiculous amount of time. It hasn't, not recently, not in the last year, but every time I wait like a good, I sat down in Worthing car park for like a good 2 hours.
I also had to wait on I don't know where the conversation went, but I also had to wait on who he named now? Brady Hawks.
I keep on forgetting the trade.
But anyway.
So this is my thing though, right? So
Right,
like y'all raise 2 examples. Shout out Rand with mommy and Rand talked out to yesterday about saying and Rand's with man.
Made it stop phrase all day.
Nah, we was talking about like a delivery service. Like,
Oh, sorry,
we was-
yeah.
Like,
I prefer your example.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
have a
yeah,
conversation about chips.
Nah,
You know
nah,
what? I like
nah,
fries with mayo.
yeah.
No, I like fries with mayo.
Nah, we do some different things. Like buy box fries, he's do homemade fries kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like Rand's my man. But at the end of the day, the truth is, like you got similar issues. Like if you say you wait what?
2 hours.
I wait that long out.
You would absolutely never wait. Jeez, I didn't want to say that because Rand my man. All right, never mind.
See,
Nah, like you would never wait 2 hours at Curbside. Like if you say you wait 2 hours at Curbside, is that exaggeration or you order literally blowing the garbage can and we didn't know that it was there? Like it's not possible to wait 2 hours at Curbside.
why are y'all not in Worthing Square or Savvy on the Bay?
I can't speak to Savvy on the Bay because to be honest, at the time I was working on opening Worthing when I knew of Savvy on the Bay, so I never reached out to them. Worthing Square.
Say it.
Nah. You can't stop me. I ain't gotta be politically correct. I reached out to Sasha multiple times from Worthing Square and he never had space.
Oh.
But then I see things come.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's
after-
no way.
after-
Something open day like
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
month.
So I don't know if it's like a case where like he forget.
He ain't got space for you, dog.
It might be that, but it open nearby, so we can be good.
Yeah, you're gonna be good. Why did you open a storefront? That doesn't make sense to me.
We always have so originally business. We started out cooking in our in my home kitchen, completely destroyed my home kitchen, and yeah, like you can't handle the volume from like a regular four
Yeah.
Right, yeah, that
four
makes
burners residential stove. And,
Yeah.
So that destroyed my kitchen. We have redo your kitchen. Well, when I say me, like I ain't gonna say that we pay for it, but my father financed it.
Oh yeah.
He
Makes
redo the
sense,
kitchen.
makes sense. They got that.
But yeah, all the time. So eventually we decided, we can't handle the volume from there. And we opened a location in town, which we kind of rebranded as something different, the Oli Kitchen. That was, I want to say 2018, 2019, just before COVID. COVID come, and I'll look at everything. We kept the space, but we never reopened it to the public. And I always wanted that the space we rent as our base, that we would have the ability to sell from it. So automatically when the Worthing Main Road location became available to me at least, I kind of decided that we would take a chance and do it.
I ain't gonna lie, B. I haven't had Curbside in a minute because I forgot there was a location closer to me.
Which one?
Worthing. I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah. Right. So that's like our focus now, trying to push that. And I guess right now you can't. I mean, if you don't know what Curbside is, yeah, we got signage. But if you drive past and you don't know what Curbside is, then
right,
it's neither here nor there. So shout out Gerard. Gerard just took some pictures for us. I should say proper English.
What? What was? I don't know what that was.
Man, use a different pronoun.
Yeah,
I know. But yeah, so Gerard just took some pictures for us, and we can take advantage of the road frontage that we have and put up some food imagery.
This repeats a man dot used to be, right?
Nah,
I can't remember. Where's your Worthing location?
That's the Mojos. One building from Mojos.
One building from Mojos.
So you come in from town heading towards Rendezvous gas station.
Right, and after Mojos,
they got the upstairs building with the gravel where people park, but they got the chain no, so you can't park in that building. Red and yellow, can't miss it.
Yeah, you can't miss that. It's big.
You literally can't miss it. Big red and yellow building with a big Curbside thing. Yeah,
I am going home that way today just on purpose.
100%. If you drive down Costa, you cannot miss it.
I am telling you that I have missed it.
Well, that was your fault.
Right. I'm seeing looking.
But yeah.
So, Aioli Kitchen, you said was you open it in town and you said that forget everything you said?
Nah, I won't say forget everything, but tongue is not what I feel like I see a thing with Mr. Abed saying that, tongue is not what it once was.
Yeah.
But my experience was that I thought Bridgetown, two bus heavy traffic,
right, people would
kind of thing, and this and that. It might be my personal location where I was at it, but the truth is we never really did well in town. I opened day one in Worthing and probably double any sales we've ever done in town.
Really? But also you use different brands though, Kyle. You don't think that play a part in it?
How you mean?
Aioli Kitchen versus Curbside.
Okay.
I don't feel so. I used to push Aioli Kitchen on Curbside page. And then different that way, don't know.
I guess I remember that, but okay, so right. I like Curbside. I like what you do. I don't follow Curbside page. So by default, I'm already alienated from that.
From that advertising. But then we would do advertising outside of the following. So we do paid advertising and stuff. But I mean, to be honest, I did not have a good experience in town.
Nah.
I don't want to say we put a lot of effort into it, but it was one of those things that, you sometimes in entrepreneurship you gotta accept. Right?
But me as a business magnet though, I think that you should have kept it as Curbside when you went to town, not call it Aioli Kitchen. Me as a business magnet.
Why are you calling yourself a business magnet? What do you mean by that?
Huh?
What do you mean by that?
Business magnet. It's kind of like Trump and all that things. It was a joke that did not go well.
Did not go well.
Yeah, but I said I would just write it out.
I got you.
Moving on.
As a business aficionado. But do you think though that you should have called it Aioli looking back, that you could have ridden off the coattails of Curbside because you would have built a Curbside following?
Yeah. You gotta make mistakes.
Yeah,
I have my reasons for why we did it.
I
ain't gonna tell you what
the reasons.
But
okay.
So you're not going to tell us your reasons?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
No,
that's
100% not. But I mean, we wanted something that was kind of brand new. For reasons. So yeah, I could accept that. Maybe some percentage of that was not necessarily was because of the name, and maybe people weren't able to make the association between the two.
Okay,
that's possible.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What can you think of? Were other mistakes that you may have made that I guess we can learn from, other entrepreneurs can learn from, but through the eyes of the business, what you looking back, you could have done differently?
That was a hard one. There's always room for improvement. Which is something that I guess I always kind of have that conversation with my mom in terms of improving the level of service. I may think that there is put it this way. I may be more sympathetic to the fact that it's difficult to offer faster service for like calling orders and those types of things. There's always room for improvement. So like, yeah, I may say that, but that's not to say that we are not trying to actively improve the level of service. So we'll try multiple things. Like there was, when we started, people would say they can never get through. We got 3 phones now. We got people that are literally dedicated to answering the phone. There is a role at Curbside, which is just literally saying no outside and answering the phone. So that would tell you the level of volume that we do. We do more calling orders than walk-in orders. So people will say, you know, that's back to the same point where people will say, well, yo, we calling an order and we got him, we got it. Everybody calling an order. Then people will say, well, you don't call an order. Well, you don't stop the order process. It's hard to say when you don't own the business. Like, if I had stopped calling orders, tell you the truth. Tell you the truth. You can't sound in line with it.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. So I may not be able to serve everybody on time, but some people ain't can serve on time.
Right.
So,
I did not say it on the podcast, so I wish you could communicate it like differently.
No, brother. I tweet. I post it on Curbside page. I explain it. The only thing I do is tackle like a video, like a screenshot, like a video, and just pin it to the page saying, "Hi, my name is Kyle. These are the realities."
But listen, right? Maybe not a somber.
But nobody like, want to hear me. I'm telling you, nobody want to hear me. At the end of the day, you already full. You want your food on time because you're hungry. That's it. So people ain't really interested. People ain't really interested in like solutions as such. That's what my feeling is.
Yeah, arguing with a hungry person.
You lose.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you lose.
Man walk on Twitter, he ha ha.
Yeah.
The only forever and Matt's work.
What do you mean tagging you though?
Man, you follow from this is as I quote. You follow from Curbside down here. Only forever. You look at that. You want to drag me? Not me.
I got a question to ask though about food generally, right?
Difficult. Headache. Low margins.
You might just want to if you like noodles, me.
Like when niggas are tenders, I was actually gonna get to that, but that too, right?
I have a Shout out, hello, shout out, Tracy.
What I want to ask, right? I want to ask, what is up with the loaded fries pandemic, bro? I feel like we've been going through this trend of everywhere has loaded fries. And every now and again, there's this one trend where everybody does the same thing. Whether it be loaded fries, whether it be now it's tacos. Before it was like everybody got wings. What is that about? Where does it start?
I can tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. I ain't know nobody in Barbados that sell tacos that met money from selling tacos.
Really?
At them prices?
There's no way. That's a good point. There's no way.
We're going to get this for real.
There's no way.
I can't remember the last time I saw a taco and was like, that price makes sense. I'll purchase that.
I paid the like bill of somebody for one set of tacos I bought.
All right, hold tight. How for my tacos?
I don't know. I can't
show you
tell
how
you.
reasonably priced.
I am listening, bro. I am listening.
No. You know, I could chat my page and say that I'm telling lies, but I feel like a taco is $8. One taco.
That's a lie.
And 3 tacos is $22.
Okay. So what's the deal?
Where? Name of that place?
I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to figure out.
But at the end of the day, if I sell 100 tacos in a weekend, I sell enough. Tacos don't sell. Burritos don't sell. We just do that as like.
But from you, though,
because
from you. I mean, like the people don't get tacos from Curbside.
I feel like because maybe I selling other things that people prefer to have from me.
Probably, yeah.
I feel like women is buy tacos, me.
Dog.
I ain't just saying so.
I am a woman.
No, obviously. Don't say no more.
What the June month podcast?
I know. Like
I buy tacos all the time.
Shout out Jordan with like Taco Dan and thing, but
right.
I haven't been to Savvy to say like how busy it is or.
Wait, Taco Dan is English?
It's Jordan.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. You can put one on, man. It's that close.
And honestly, I only saw that page like 3 days ago, and
he's open late and thing after parties and.
No, I see bare IG bodies eating tacos. I was like, what is this place?
Jordan's do where it ones you chop.
Yeah, big up Jordan. I actually got to try that. Yeah, once in 2 colors with Jordan, big up Jordan for real. Yeah, I got to try that. Okay, so, but you don't think that tacos can be sold at a reasonable margin. How do you explain like the other people that sell tacos at like $35 or anything?
I don't.
Right, but that's my point. But what you said was tacos don't make money. When they see shit like that,
but it's just to be honest, it's like a novelty. It's not like one of those things that you can sell high volume on. The things I sell in Barbados, raisin chips, loaded fries. So you talk about loaded fries, pandemic, but loaded fries. That's what I sell. Like, we sell chips. That's ultimately.
Bajans love a chip for truth.
Yeah, free Bajans from the shackles of chips.
Nah, I actually want us to realize their other food.
What is it? What is it? So what is this?
I don't know. I can't answer you. Like, I can't tell you like why.
We even got Irish roots or something, so be.
Like, I ain't start. You know how I would say? Like, I might say, yo, we were one of the first food trucks. I can't tell you that I started loaded fries, and who started?
So how do you know when a trend is picking up? Who do you look to? Are there any like
food truck? That's food truck food network. You heard it, man.
No. Like, normally I would do like local pages and things. So like, all right, we started like loaded fries and thing before Fry Guys came about. So I can't even like credit Fry Guys for it. They came and they did it and they put their own spin on it. Cool, no problem. If I had to be 100% honest, we started when, and I guess we put our own spin on it, but bar cutters used to do pizza fries.
Yes.
I told myself, I got all these things in my trailer where I don't just do something, call it truck fries. Like, everything you truck. You know?
Oh.
So why we don't try it? And that is, well, since then we did Three Piggies, which is probably now that between ribs and chips, Three Piggies and truck fries, that's like 75% of our income.
Are you serious?
100%. So that's why I tell you, like, somebody messaged me yesterday. Shout out Gianni and Valar.
Yeah, big up Gianni. True.
So, like,
happy belated birthday, baby.
Yeah, happy belated birthday.
I mean, I guess same.
But yeah, so like that, like, she shot me yesterday and she was like, yo, why y'all don't do guacamole? I was like, because they really don't sell any tacos. So like, when I do guacamole, the boy want to play actually $2 for your guacamole. And then it's spoiled and throw it. It's be a waste of time. It's a waste of effort. Like, it's not worth it.
That is really fascinating to me.
So like, it can literally last one day.
Yeah.
So
man,
they can't serve you brown pair.
I remember Subway used to do it too, and they had to stop.
What?
Guacamole.
Well, if Subway stop, well, who's me?
Exactly. I get you. Subway Barbados, obviously not.
But that's what I'm telling you, who's me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No, but I don't like it enough to really invest in it.
I mean, I do, but
me too.
Yeah, right. But we're street people.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Like, I might Subway do it. Subway squeeze it out of a bottle, and you know, it's me like the little lane and guacamole.
I don't know if it's just me. I'm totally blown away by this news. So more than 50% of your sales comes from loaded fries.
Some version of fries. Yes. Our biggest revenue earner is something that I serve with fries.
That is what.
Is it because like the chips like reasonably priced from the start? As in like the bag chips cheap?
Prices going up every minute.
No, just start saying it. I don't want to remember it.
Prices going up every minute. I can't just my prices because they're gonna blast me on Twitter. You just listen.
yeah, they will probably blast you. Right?
So I think the original question was what advice I would give to entrepreneurs.
No.
At the end of the day, you gotta trust your product. And I remember the first time I had to raise prices, I was like, nobody ain't gonna buy this no more, boy. This is the end. But at the end of the day, if you got a strong product, people will pay for it. Like, there's no reason why somebody will pay more for Halu than, I mean, Halu obviously has his branding.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of intrinsic value that you will not be able to create as a small business.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you are in business. You're not running a charity. You're in business to make money. And if you got reserve price for the survival business, then go ahead and do it.
Sight.
It's being an entrepreneur is difficult. There's no two ways about it. It's not like everybody's, put bright lights around it and say, yo, this is the most glamorous thing to do. It really isn't.
But the thing I've found interesting, just back to the pricing, one of the things that I was thinking about was the way that trends can it's like a tsunami of like people doing the same thing, or like just and then quick space of time.
Like a good example is when I remember when King's Tavern had first opened and they started doing dollar wings, and then mind you, a whole wing costs $4 now, by the way. I can't wrap my head around that. We just experienced the dollar wings pandemic. A whole wing cost $4.
Raw or
No, a whole when you go, like, let me say you go out to a fete and you go to the person in the back with the tent and the generator selling
you
food.
paying
A
$4
whole wing is $4.
I got you.
I can't understand that. We just had dollar wings.
But when you saw the dollar wings, you saw a lot of people doing dollar wings after them.
Definitely,
I
bro.
remember that too.
100%. Dollar wings.
Definitely.
That was only the other
Everybody
day.
did dollar wings. I did dollar wings. I did dollar wings, but you had to spend
Get some money.
$20 before
Right.
you could pay. You
And
had to
then,
spend $20 a day to buy dollar wings. Up to a limit. Because dollar wings don't matter. Thanks.
It doesn't.
it doesn't. When you think about it,
It does not.
they're a dollar.
Chicken is expensive.
Literally don't make sense. Like that was like one of them, like I guess they call that a loss leader strategy, like where you just get people to come so they could buy something else. So that was why you kind of put a limit on where you gotta spend money before you could buy that.
Nah, that's smart, because then you definitely got the $20.
If I'm on show, I'll buy $40 wings, then what?
Then you's
I
crazy.
in a hole.
Yeah.
I dig in a hole deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
Every time.
So dollar wings are kind of like a version of, like, say, like happy hour when people come.
Yes.
And then they spend
And
time,
then
they drinks.
Funny time you're there and you get any drinks in the happy hour, you can spend more money.
Yeah.
Automatically.
Are you probably
Because you're already drunk.
Right.
Yeah, alcohol is
you're
making
already
by
bust
alcohol.
up.
Yeah.
So it's snowball friendly.
Interesting. So, okay. So that's probably what these trends do then. So going back
But
to
that's the thing. Wing food different. After you eat $20
right,
wings,
yeah.
I full. I'm animal. So,
It ain't liquor.
so if you are a bar and you sell alcohol, you buy dollar wings and then you can buy drinks.
Yeah.
So you make money there. But for somebody like me, that just selling food.
Yo, that is interesting though.
Loaded fries is interesting though. Like, I think that's a mainstay on almost every restaurant's menu, and it wasn't always a thing.
And then every time I go on a new,
recent thing.
if I go on a new Instagram page, I would see chips with like mayonnaise zigzagged and like that.
Always a zigzag, always parsley. Always a
Presentation, bro. You have to.
Yo.
This is like, it's the same, it's almost the same thing, B.
Listen, if $1 million in food is spent on a weekend, 750,000 is below the fries on a weekend in Barbados.
Do you, both of y'all, question to both of y'all, do you genuinely like loaded fries?
No, I don't.
I don't like fries.
I'm not a big fan of fries.
Who are the people that see a potato and be like, yeah?
I personally don't like fries, but Three Piggies is hit hard.
You was a sauce.
But I goss the sauce. But
Yeah.
I mean, outside of that, it's hit hard for you.
It's pulled pork, bacon, and what was the other pig?
Christmas time.
Oh, okay.
Telling you.
That does sound good.
Can't go wrong.
But still.
Barbecue or aioli sauce. Can't go wrong. Telling you, coleslaw too.
Why are you selling the product?
Yeah, well, you feel like I'm here for me, huh?
Oh my gosh. I want to ask you something about generally about financial freedom. If you don't mind, you had a question.
Not really.
Go ahead.
I was curious of your thoughts on like fine dining establishments, opening fine dining restaurant, like just the other side of food.
I haven't been exposed to it enough that I can speak on it with any level of
Expertise.
I guess expertise or knowledge. Me personally, I like eating out because I like food.
Right.
The majority of my expenditure is on food because I do not cook. So I like eating out. If I think finding any restaurants make money, they have to. If you get a certain level of volume at the prices that they charge, I would assume that they do.
And as a serial entrepreneur, that's saying you'll be looking into?
Not at this stage. I don't know that as a long-term plan that food is something that, I mean, I kind of tied to Curbside because that's like my baby. That's like the first thing that I've done. So there's a level of commitment I have to that might go beyond the economic value of it. It's like like one passion thing.
Yeah.
Your baby. This episode is brought to you by Fortress Fund Managers. We at INO Podcast want you to save, spend, and invest your money. And in your investment portfolio, you need to consider mutual funds. So what is a mutual fund? A mutual fund is a way for many people and organizations to pool their money together to buy stocks, bonds, or other securities. I want you to check fortressfund.com, fortressfund.com, and get all the details. Fortress Fund. Fund your future with Fortress. My question for you about financial freedom, right? And this is just your opinion. If you wanted to achieve financial freedom in Barbados from your vantage point, and you are not born from wealthy parents. What is the strategy that you can see in doing that? Because there's things working against us, knowing the volume of people.
The market is
the market is very small. There also be not the most. It's hard to scale anything
in Barbados.
But what do you see as a path?
If I'm honest with you, there's something that like I will have a conversation with like my closer friends and be like, yo, is it possible to generate generational wealth in Barbados? Not having like previous family wealth or land or whatever previously. I could tell you my approach. I can't tell you what the right answer is because I'm not financially free. I go and work tomorrow. So 100% I can work tomorrow and I know what I gotta do. It's so early.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like one, you gotta approach it from a number of angles. So there are not many businesses that you will start from scratch that will provide a level of success that will give you financial freedom. There's outside of if you have knowledge of construction. So if you're going to start a construction business, you stand a chance. There are certain businesses that have high margins and, will do well. But at the end of the day, you got to diversify. So my attempt at it is diversifying. And not only diversifying through a variety of businesses, but also through trying to progress in my career as well. That's my approach to it. So the majority of my income right now as it stands today comes from my day job.
Okay.
It goes back to kind of what I was saying about Curbside. Like people will see Curbside, see it online and feel like Curbside is meant. There's a lot of money, see we expand and we open on this, of course, but at the end of the day, is it really what supports me? No. The truth is that yes, I get paid from Curbside. It's not a lot. It's probably less than 10% of my income. Is a lot of headache.
I interpret that the other way, that he bought him. Yeah.
No, but as I tell you, it's not. It's not. But,
I mean, 10% of $1 million. 10% of $1 million is $100,000.
If it was $1 million, we'd go work tomorrow.
Fair enough.
Call my boss and tell you I'm not coming. Yeah, but
say it's true though.
Yeah, American out of million. Right.
But that's the thing.
But so you don't. So you don't really. So I missed it. But do you see a strategy or no? It would depend. So it would depend on the industry you're in. Like construction, yeah.
Yeah. Real estate, but again, to go into real estate, you gotta have a certain level of capital or income, depending on how you're doing it, financing or if you're buying cash or whatever. So
to some extent, yeah.
Yeah, correct. So like, it's difficult in Barbados based on the market size to reach financial freedom. Everybody would tell you, entrepreneurship, say hustle, this thing, and the third and the fourth. Name somebody that has a say hustle that is financially free. I don't have any reference points. I can't name a reference point of somebody that looks like me, feels like me, essentially had the same background as me, that has succeeded in Barbados to the point where they are financially free. I don't know if you can name somebody.
I can name
legally.
I can name one.
Name that. Well,
but I think he chooses not. Well, no, he is financially free. He just decides to work. But that's Gabriel Abed. But he's like an anomaly.
Yeah, that's like a different. So he believed in something and he did well because the thing he believed in did well. So and like not discrediting him because hats off to you for pushing in that avenue. But again,
what's interesting though, Mark?
Looks and feels like me.
Oh, okay.
But also, what's interesting, like Abed came in like the correct time. Like if he was 5 years late, he'll be in Roman currently.
Right.
Yeah, but he didn't. So
right.
I mean,
so that was
hats off to him.
So you would say that it was more right place, right time, all that.
Right, that's
right,
what I'm
right
getting
place,
at.
right time,
Yeah.
and maybe he was, the whole scale of early adopters.
Yeah,
blah, blah,
yeah.
blah. So he got in
And yeah,
At the correct
at
time.
the right time.
Yeah.
And there are people that will there are Abeds and not Abeds like the family name, but there
People
are
like that.
people like him who will go into other things and will fail in
Right.
Barbados because it will not take off the way that Bitcoin has taken off.
right. And just to be clear, right place, right time, etc., as well as his high degree of competency in the tech
Correct.
world and all the things that he's done, because
Correct. So
he's a
I'm not
hard
gonna
worker.
dis-
Right.
no,
yeah,
so I'm
yeah.
not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
discredit
yeah,
him
yeah,
at all.
yeah,
For anybody that don't know, right?
Yeah,
don't know him,
yeah.
right. Because I mean, he's like, he started like 2 businesses and like has a hedge fund, all kind of things. Like,
Yeah.
he's the man, right? But yeah, I get what you're saying, and especially the thing about looking like us, that is a very difficult one to.
Yeah,
like, even if I think about, man, like a similar man to you, I would kind of say is like Daddy Fabian, kind of.
Oh, for sure.
But he's a serial entrepreneur who's doing very well. I don't know if he's at this financial freedom point either. Yeah, that's a very good. I can't think of anybody.
There's my
I can't
thing.
think of
Like, I
anybody.
always say, like, who can I coming from my background? And I ain't saying like I grew up in the streets, and that's not my background. I grew up in a regular middle class family. My father just retired. He's okay. He ain't had to work since 65, kind of thing. So like, we're okay as a family. So I didn't grow up poor. I would never tell anybody that I grew up poor. But who do I have that I can call on and ask for advice that looks like me, feels like me, that has experiences like what I have experienced in my life? Like I can't tell you one single, like, there are people in my age group who I may have a conversation with and that kind of thing. But there's not like a reference point that I guess Black entrepreneurs in Barbados to say, this is the man to look to. This is the man that I aspiring to be like. You gotta talk about Hello. You gotta talk about all these other men that have a different path than what you necessarily have.
Yeah.
Or I can give a man that I would look at to that's like push entrepreneurship. Shines.
Dario. Yeah.
All right. Shines is push it. Shane's doing well. Shane's just about to open his new location. Shout out Shane's. But he's still pushing. He ain't. Well, I don't know, but the impression I get is that he's not there yet. He's still pushing the agenda. He's still pushing forward. So he's somebody that I would say, all right, cool. He's an inspiration. I could name other people that doing other things in different avenues that are inspirations.
Right.
Even young people that may not necessarily look like me. So like Avi and Tremaine and other people, that really pushing forward. I got a partner that, well, I ain't call your name, but pushing forward.
Things, right.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's
So,
difficult, yeah.
So like it is really difficult to.
But
to
is
push
it a
forward.
case that people aren't pushing because they're not financially free, or are they just of the mentality that they have to push because like they don't want to do anything else? Because you could be financially free, but like I don't want to be bored home.
We use describe as financially free. Because financially free for me is that I do not have to go to work tomorrow. I have complete control over my life and how I choose to spend my life. If I want to stay home for the rest of my life and just raise my daughter, that's what I consider to be financially free.
Right. For me, I guess it's similar. If I could live the life that I'm living now and not have to work, that's financial freedom. And by not work, I just mean go do a 9 to 5 or whatever.
Nah, not for me. For me, I want travel the world. There's like the things that drive me are traveling the world, not having to worry about money ever, not being able, like never hearing a no. You feel Mark Maloney Barbados is here a no.
Right.
You feel Mark is say. You feel Mark is say I want. I can't.
I hear no.
Yeah, for me, the financial freedom thing is I could wake up any day and I could do whatever I want with whoever I want, wherever I want.
No. Here's the thing. Where does that end? Because when you travel the world, is there not going to be a place or an experience you have not experienced?
Exactly. So there's limits to it. I'm sure there are things that Mark relates to do in his life that he can't do. But at the end of the day, at a certain, and I don't know if to say basic level, but at a certain level, there are certain comforts that you would like to be able to enjoy.
For sure.
So like,
but
that for me is financial freedom.
I just feel like a lot of people have
I ain't
this.
gonna tell you that I want to drive a Ferrari. I could drive a Suzuki.
See how you did that?
Original
Yeah, right.
drove for Suzuki.
I just feel like there's like a threshold that some people some people have like an insatiable stress over like they don't know where the end is.
But that's humans. That's human nature.
Right.
You never satisfied.
Right. So then it's like, are you not really financially free, or are you just unsatisfied because you have an idea of where you want to be? Elon Musk works, and he was the richest man in the world.
But he says,
Nah, not anymore. Nah, babe.
Who is Tesla surgeon this week? Telling you, he gotta be richest man in the world right now.
It's not a Tesla surgeon. Is that he don't spend a lot on Twitter. He spent a lot on Twitter. He's in debt because of Twitter.
Finance Twitter.
All right, we will talk after.
Yeah.
But I just feel like. I mean, to me and you, he's financially free. Does he think that? Is he aware that he doesn't have to be doing the things he's doing?
That's the thing. So like, he pushing for it because the things that motivate him may not be financial. So he wants to.
Right.
Well, there's that.
He wants to
push.
He don't have to.
Electric, and he wants to push a kind of sustainable environment and those kinds of things.
Right.
So that's his drive.
Right.
But if you can ask me if Elon Musk financially free, yeah. If they got anybody,
I tell you so. But like, then you don't have to do these things you're doing for money.
No, he doesn't have to.
Me, Kyle Smith, I have to.
No.
No, I think
Elon is
for me. I think
he
that
doesn't have to.
He
can stop now.
He can stop now.
And he has enough that he can think.
Forever.
And
for sure,
that you got to reach to Elon Musk level to be financially free because you could live a very humble lifestyle. Like I ain't, like as I told you earlier, like I'm not trying to be rich. Like, I mean, being rich is overrated to me.
Okay.
How about and that's just in terms of the same.
When I was younger, like you would grow up and you would. So again, you grow up and you you want a big job, and if somebody had asked me when I was a little man, was a good salary, I would have said 10 grand. Mm-hmm. Having been in the working environment, and this does not relate to me, but 10 grand of money, like it is not any money. Like when you consider some of the salaries in Barbados that people are making, it's not money.
You consider the cost of everything 10 grand in the money.
It's not no money. Yeah. Like you could live a regular middle class life on 10 grand. Like this be a Twitter conversation all the time. You see people getting dragged for saying, "Oh, you can't get a mortgage." But you know what I mean?
I've heard.
But I don't ever contribute because just sit on hashtag.
Right. Well, truthfully, most people that have money don't contribute to those conversations.
Hey, bro. No.
Right. Anyways. But yeah, okay, I get what you're saying, and truthfully, I'm going back to my original question. I think about that a lot. I think about the fact that maybe one of the biggest limitations that I have and everybody has is that don't look to be financially free if you're living in Barbados, and that is something that I don't know if to come to grips with.
So this is the thing.
And for me, and just before you respond, my definition again of financial freedom is doing whatever I want, wherever I want, with whoever I want, scheduling my days, and to some extent, my passive income is enough that I can meet all of my demands and obligations. So yeah,
right. Even the phrase passive income is
I don't believe in passive income.
Right.
Like passive income saying that sounds good to say, but I don't think unless you are super wealthy, I don't think like you should. My thing is, I don't aspire to having passive income that could support my lifestyle. What I aspire to is working for myself to the point where I can determine the amount of. I'm not against working, so maybe not whenever you want, but most of the time, I want work to 67. Retire, God knows what health I can be in at that time, and tell myself, oh, I can travel the world at 67. I want to do it now. And my approach to it is this. I can do as much as I could do. Right now, I do a lot, and the majority of my life now is work. So I make a lot of sacrifices to do the things that I do now, with the hope that in a couple of years, not that I would never have to work again, but that I might be in a position where I could say, my daughter got a dance recital today. I'm going there. And but tomorrow I might go work 12 hours. Because I decide to do this thing. But at the end of the day, doing it for me. So
I get you.
So that for me, that would be financial freedom for me. So like I might work 3 days a week. or whatever the case is, and have more freedom. So, I guess there are levels to it.
So, but I think yours is based more in a realistic perspective, though.
Yeah, like I
makes
ain't
sense.
like out here looking to win the lotto and invest that money and never have to work and
Yeah, I get
kick
you.
up my foot and go to the beach every single day.
I get you.
Yeah, because I may never achieve that. Like I may never achieve the level of wealth thing, and if I do achieve it, then great. But and I'm not saying like again stop and not push to get there, but at the same time you gotta kind of decide what's gonna make you happy and what you want to achieve in your life and what's realistic and that kind of thing. So for me, being able to wake up tomorrow and say, "Nah, I ain't working tomorrow. I gonna work. I gonna work Tuesday."
That makes sense.
Is it for me?
I
That's
get
just
you,
me
man.
personally.
I get you. I have like one more question, but Kobe, you good? Do you consider yourself a high value man?
Me? Yeah, Kobe. Explain.
Nah, I listen. I listen.
Value,
sometimes
if I value myself, yeah.
Sometimes I watch a bunch of YouTube videos that I should not be watching. You know,
Andrew Tip.
Shout out to Andrew and
Wow.
Shout out to Big Boy Kev. Like,
Wow.
RIP Kev. I just played. I did want to ask. I did want to ask you that, and I think we'll probably talk about that another time, the man. But in terms of how you define who you are as a man and your definition of a man, knowing all the things that you do and you will want to be in a place where you can provide for yourself and your child, as you mentioned. Does that only look like being able to show up for whether it be she got dance recitals or whatever? How does that, from the perspective of like your place as a provider, etc., how do you define that? And are you that now?
The hard question. Well, the hardest question you answer if you did. What do I define as being a man? I feel like that's personal to the individual, but
always
for me, I've always said that the things that are, and mind you, I'm not 100% or by any stretch even close to the man that I would like to be. Ultimately, I think today, if I had a rate out of 10, 10 being I am the man I want to be, 1 being I'm not the man I want to be, I might say 4 or 5, kind of halfway.
Damn.
Was it 10?
I don't think so. Yeah. Come on, man.
But that's the thing. Like that's so. Like if we talk, so
man want to be a Kryptonian?
Nah. Like the things that you might be thinking about, maybe like you might say, well, he got his businesses, he doing these things, whatever. That might be things that matter to you. That might not. That's not what matters to me. You understand? So like, in terms of my thoughts on a day-to-day basis and the type of man that I am, with maybe my relationship with my mother, or those types of things are the things that I feel like I still need to work on. So if I tell you what being a provider or what being a man to my daughter and those types of things, I feel like, yeah, you want to provide financially and things, but outside of that, I kind of is about the quality of the relationships that you have in your life, being accountable, being available, ability to communicate, which is something that I don't necessarily do the best.
Oh, really?
Or like, I don't know if anybody uses communicate. Oh,
I trying to do better.
That was telling you, but me too. So like, that was like the reality of, I guess, being a man in a Caribbean society that you don't really get.
Your dog is not there.
You kind of body in this answer, by the way. This is actually
good Lord.
Accountability, availability, and community. That's
like
that's actually
that's a brilliant. Bro.
I just thought you were gonna ask the question. I was like, damn, it is a freaking amazing answer.
Hey, man, it's off. Yeah. It's like they got a lot of things. So that's why I tell you, like, when I speak about entrepreneurship, when I speak about financial freedom and stuff, and like all the things I might do or whatever outside of Curbside and work or whatever, like Yeah, I could give them up because they don't matter. Like in grand scheme of life, like the things that matter to me will be family and the relationships that I build, the way that I make people feel, those types of things. Yeah, there are goals I have for me in and of myself where I want to be free and don't gotta go work and those types of things. But at the end of the day, if I don't achieve them, and I have accepted that the possibility is that I will not achieve them, I will reach a point in my career where I say, yo, I am going to take the chance on me. And before I get too old, so that I could look back and say, yo, I try. And if I fail, cool. I rather fail than not try. If you get what I'm saying. So I rather look back and say, yo, boy, life is bare straight. But I take a chance.
I get you all.
You know what I mean? I take a chance. I got a straight job now that I don't find. I mean, I got a straight job now. I had a good job, but I walked away from it to not do my own thing, and I eventually reached that point. But right now, shout out HK Caribbean. But I like that, and all the other things that I try to do or whatever. They all contribute to I think I overwork right now. They kind of feel like I'm burnt out to some extent right now because I do a lot now. The majority of my life right now is work. That's just your reality because at this point you're still trading your time for money. That's just your reality. There are so many other things that we could talk about, but I think what we got now is good. But I want you to leave us with something. So you got Curbside. There's a few things that I didn't mention. You dabble in real estate, and you also have your fishing business sale. Cyber. Huh? It's cyber. But you don't have that, and
you know whole commercial talking about you Jeep and you on board.
That was for work. I do. All right, so yeah, I say fish, but that's not like commercial fishing. Okay. Like a hobby. So I tell you things to do. I am the regional sales manager for Suzuki Inchgate Caribbean. I am a partner in Curbside Cafe. I am a partner in Coastline Transport. I'm not gonna call his name because I don't know if he really cares to have his name out there. Okay. Which is a transportation business. It has 2 minibuses and a hire car. I have 2 real estate properties which we do Airbnb with. Not gonna call that person's name either. Is there anything else? I dabble in investing during pandemic and stock market and thing, but never met the money. But
yeah, I don't mind that for us.
I left it in. Nah, it ain't for us. Oh. Don't do that. Yo, bro, I got a business opportunity for you. Yeah. Okay. You mean for us? Nah, I'm for me. I said, don't do that. Don't do that to me, man. Don't do that to me. I got that conscience today. Yeah, right. But
you just gotta bring 2 people.
Yeah, you just gonna bring. Frankly, you gonna bring 2 people. When in the history of life have black people ever made money and telling them, man, you come with me, boy. But I got my own feelings about that, but that's another topic. So in terms of all these things, when you venture into something new, what advice do you have for entrepreneurs? Just to close out. I would say, especially, I can speak from my perspective as a young person in society, or at least when I started, I was a lot younger. I'm 32 now, so I have responsibilities. As I said, I have a daughter, so my decision making is a little bit different now. I kind of have to consider I can't take the risk that I would take at that time. Nonetheless, what I would say is, whatever you do in life or whatever you choose to do in life is going to be hard work. There's no getting away from it. Whether you choose entrepreneurship, whether you go and work for a corporation, whether you sell drugs on the street, whatever you do is going to be hard work. It's going to be difficult. You're going to have your challenges. There's nothing you will do that will be easy ever in life.
Oh, your mom is just selling drugs. Just
Right. Selling drugs hard.
Yeah, I can imagine. There's a target on your back. But I can imagine. Yeah, I watch Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I watch TV too.
Right.
I watch YouTube documentaries.
Right. You don't know any drug dealers or anything.
I ain't getting that. But so like everything, whatever you do at the end of the day, it will be difficult. But you kind of have to decide the path for your life. I didn't want to say like a super young age because you're still learning. There are people that will start at 40 and change path completely and have success. But you kind of have to, I would say, bet on yourself, take the risks. At the end of the day, what I cannot stomach is looking back on my life and saying, yo, it did not try. I did nothing with my life. So if you see me at 65 taking cash in Jordan supermarket, I can be good because I can try. So if I fail and that's what my reality ends up being, then so be it. Because as I said, money doesn't mean as much to me now. It's kind of the quality of life that I'm able to live. So if I take a shot at being able to live that life and I end up failing, so be it. The other thing I would say is to have a backup plan. I never go into me personally, I never go into a venture without having a backup plan or a way out of it.
Interesting.
Just for example, if Curbside fail tomorrow, all right, what do we lose? We don't own the building that we operate in. They don't owe anybody. I think I rent out the trailer. They no longer have a loan on the trailer because we paid it off. So
you don't do a big swing for the fences and you ain't got
No,
you got 9 to 5.
I can't do that now. I can't do that now because it got
Yeah.
I can't do that now, and I've worked too hard to just throw it away on a one thing.
Right.
So, I mean, you gotta be calculated with what you do.
Yeah.
But ultimately, take the chance.
Yeah.
That would be I would say, take the chance. You gotta bet on yourself. Then an easy path. Whether that be you bet on yourself because you want to be an auditor and you're working in audit for KPMG or, whatever. That's what you want to do. Then put your best foot forward. People like to tell you like things can be easy and, entrepreneurship and put it up in bright lights and it's something real good.
Yeah.
Nothing. What is in this life is easy. They got people that can get lucky. Somebody can pay mega 6 and win it.
Mm-hmm.
But don't say the 10 people that win mega 6 will be next 20 years. She's crazy. You gotta work hard.
Exactly. Got it, boy. I will be looking forward to waiting 2 hours for my loaded fries next week.
Nah, that was not me. That was not me. I
know. I used to go there all the time. I'm not joking.
Big up Ryan.
All the time. Big up Ryan for sure.
Nah, big up all the man.
For sure.
I know what.
Big up anybody that in the food industry because that man understand.
Yeah.
Everybody in the food industry understand how difficult it is.
And I will hope that everybody that watches this understands and appreciates the hard work behind it. I know you want your chips now, but I still understand though it's a lot of hard
It's not
work.
Fast food for anymore.
It's not fast food. It's not fast food. And you know what? Everybody that watching this now, buy a food from a food truck same week that you watch this. Right?
Please.
Yeah.
Support everybody. The truth is
they food on Friday.
Right. Like, people say supporting black business and talking about that and thing, but at the end of the day, we end up with like people rather support Halu.
Yeah. So
it's just a reality.
That's the reality.
If I serve a sang visual, gonna happen to me.
Contact and passing through. Appreciate you, dog. Check out Curbside. Follow them on Instagram. Follow them on
not Twitter.
Not Twitter. Check them on Instagram.
Eat them food, man.
Right, eat them food. I stop for complaining. But that being said, I know podcast. We out.